now as long as I can spend, which is probably 10 minutes, inshallah, on questions and answers. First of all, the brothers have been sort of had a chance a little bit. Do we have any? No, none from the sisters? None so far. Sisters, if you've got any questions, you need to hurry up and write them down, because we're not going to, the brothers will take your opportunities, inshallah. Again, I emphasize to everybody, and I really do mean this, that at the end of the day, we don't take our aqeedah from one individual. I told you taqleed in aqeedah is haram. So this is not the Qur'an. This is not munazzal from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what the best that we could come to sort of simplify and summarize and try to make it easy to understand. If it has mistakes in, no problem. Because if it has mistakes in, we'll correct them, and we'll take our aqeedah from those things that are not one individual, but the aqeedah of the Salaf as a whole. So I do emphasize that to you guys, that please do look, and please do make sure that you don't, this is not a blind, a blind exercise that you just take your aqeedah like that, but you look into it and you take it from the wider sources, and you take it from the ulama of Islam, the people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the guardians of the earth, the ulama of Islam. And inshallah, more and more of their works are being translated into English for you to be able to benefit from as well, inshallah. You can also take some time to listen to some basic audio tapes in Aqeedah, because this is Muhammad Tim's take on it. There are other people who have done lectures on Aqeedah. Alhamdulillah, there are, probably 30, 40 tapes maybe you can get easily on the internet on the topic of Aqeedah, done by a varied number of speakers in all around the country. Take them, listen to them. Did they say anything different? Is there anything in there that you felt, like isn't the same or wasn't clear? Clarify it, highlight it, get in touch. In terms of getting in touch with me, I always give people my email, and I don't mind people passing around my number, but I'm just terrible at answering the phone. So basically, my email is very simple. It's MUHAMMAD, Muhammad with a U and an A, TIM@gmail.com. Very, very, very simple. MUHAMMAD, TIM@gmail.com. From there you can get Facebook, you can get whatever. Obviously I only add brothers onto the Facebook, not the sisters, but the sisters can subscribe to the public updates, inshallah. And that's just to save me from people's photographs. And the brothers are bad enough, subhanAllah, without seeing the sisters' photographs as well. So inshallah, in terms of that, we have sort of options to look at things in the future and to progress. Because if you guys don't progress, subhanAllah, it's been a waste of time. You need to see that you're actually learning more about it and progressing, becoming firm. And honestly, remember that Aqeedah will influence everything that you do. I had a tafsir teacher. I'll take your question in a second, but I had a tafsir teacher. And this tafsir teacher, may Allah guide me and may Allah guide him. But he was an Egyptian brother, an Egyptian sheikh, very, very, very prestigious, very, very, very well known. And Allahul Musta'an, subhanAllah, he was a bahr, a sea in tafsir. But Allahul Musta'an in Aqeedah. It wasn't that he had the wrong Aqeedah, he just didn't know anything about Aqeedah. So he would give opinions that would go against the Aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah and not even realize it. And when you would say to him, Shaykh, this is the Aqeedah of the Ash'aris, this is the Aqeedah of the so-and-so, this is that, he would sort of look at you like, what do you mean? And he was such a genius in tafsir. But he was really, really, really weak in Aqeedah. And that's why if you're ever going to have a teacher, make sure that your teacher is strong in Aqeedah. Even if he's teaching you alif, ba, ta, tha, make sure that his Aqeedah is right, because your Aqeedah comes out in everything. And it will split into everything, and in the end, you'll end up learning alif, ba, ta, tha, and you'll go on to learning what he thinks about the names and attributes of Allah, and what he thinks about the companions, and what he thinks about Muawiyah, and what he thinks, because everything comes out in the end. There are times, there are exceptions when you have no choice, but in general, look at who you learn. This knowledge is your religion, so look at who you take your religion from. And look at your own Aqeedah. And when you teach people, whatever you do, you teach people maths, but make sure your Aqeedah is solid, and it will come out in what you teach, and it will come out in the way you behave. Tafadhal akhi.
Where can we find references for page 23, the history of deviance in Aqeedah, for further reading and passing?
Okay, the history, like I said, there are some very, very good books in Arabic, and there's a very good book in Urdu. there's a brilliant book in Urdu, and it's going to Hafiz. I know the Sheikh's son, and his son is called Uthman, and I have to remember his name. He wrote a book about the fighting that took place between Muawiyah and Ali radiallahu an, and even the people who read Urdu tell me that even in Arabic there isn't anything like it. So if you guys have the ability to read Urdu or have Urdu read to you and explained to you, this is a brilliant book. The same guy who wrote the translation of the Mus'haf into Urdu, Hafiz Yusuf, I think it is. Yusuf? No, not Yusuf Ali. The one who wrote the one upon the right Aqeedah one. the one who wrote the one that is in the ones printed by Malik Fahad. I'll bring the name, I'll text the name to you or something, inshallah. It's gone out of my mind now. But it's a very, very, very good book about what happened. In Arabic and in English you have the books of As-Sallabi, the biography of Ali, the biography of Uthman, the biography of Umar. You have the books of the Seerah, the books like 𝘊𝘩𝘦𝘤𝘬 that talk about what happened in the fight between. And you have the books of Aqeedah that talk about our belief about the companions. So you have the books of Aqeedah that talk about the history of deviancy in Islam or bid'ah in Islam. And again in there you can find some of the history. Even books like Dr. Bilal Phillips' book on Tariq al-Tashri'. What do they call that? What do they call Tariq al-Tashri' in English? The history of the madhahib. Dr. Bilal Phillips has a book on the evolution of fiqh. That's what they call it. And that again, will give you an idea of how some things that have misguided the ummah entered into Islam. So there's a wide variety of books for session 4. Books of history, books of seerah, books about bid'ah, books about the history of deviant sects. You might get a book on the Shia that talks about the early days of the Shia. There are brilliant tapes. I highly recommend Sheikh Abu Osama's tape on the similarities between the Jews and the Shia. And the other very, 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 very good books and tapes that have been done, the history of different sects and so on and so forth. And it's pretty much limitless in that regard. Does anyone else have any other questions, guys? Because otherwise I'm going to leave you, inshallah ta'ala, with the feedback forms, because I have now to travel at the speed of your average plane to reach Dudley, inshallah ta'ala, on time. Jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.